Hi everyone, I'm Rhodey from Rhodey's Racing, and today I'm bringing you a video from the start of a new series called Spare Parts. Hopefully this is the only one, but knowing how I am technology, this won't be the only one. But the idea behind Spare Parts is if I don't have footage or a complete level of footage from an event, then I'll wait till I have 2 or 3 events lined up, mash them all together, and then put some vlog over part of it to give you guys an update video, and rather than just my update videos being a boring bit of picture or my face, which I know from previous experience isn't very photogenic. So, of the 2 events that are going to be featured in this Spare Parts, the first one was my hill climb at Rob Roy, which was about 3 or 4 weeks ago. And the problem with that was I got knocked back from using my GoPro because I didn't have a tether to attach to the car in case my mount failed. So I lost most of the opportunity for good footage from that. So all that I've got for that is external footage. And then the second one is Karting Madness, which I went to with my league, the same guys we did high voltage with, and we did that was 2 or 3 days ago. And the problem with that was I got the qualifying session recorded perfectly, went to record the race session, I must hit a button in between qualifying and the race session because for some reason it didn't record, so I lost just over half an hour of footage, or I simply didn't record it. So first things first is Rob Roy. So as I said, the first event which I'll be showing in this video is my Rob Roy Hillclimb, or my first run at Rob Roy Hillclimb. Rob Roy Hillclimb is up in Christmas Hills, which if you know the eastern suburbs of Melbourne, you either head directly north from Ringwood, directly west from Yarra Glen, and if you draw a line from those 2 cardinal directions, where they meet is pretty much where Christmas Hills is and where Rob Roy Hillclimb is. So on the screen right now you can see a map of Rob Roy Hillclimb, and some little coloured lines added in over the basic thing. There's a green line and a grey line. The first bit of footage I'm going to show you, I've got a sort of organised and complete set. The first bit of footage follows the green line, which is from the start of corner number 1 all the way across the dam and just starting to go up the hill. The second bit of footage I'm going to show you is pretty much the grey line, which goes from the end of the dam and the end of the sort of causeway of the dam up the hill round turn 2, turn 2.5, and sort of through the start part of turn 3. I then got the third bit of camera footage, which goes back over the dam, and that's just me returning it. So it goes from here to here. And then there's a fourth bit of footage, which I'll show you as a comparison later, which is going to be the same length, sort of same distance as the third bit of footage, which is just a noise comparison, so you can compare the sound of my 1.6 litre Formula V to the other guy that was there, which is a 1.2 litre Formula V. So let's roll clip number 1. It's interesting actually that the 1200 Formula V, despite being down on power on the 1600 Formula V, being a smaller engine actually revs higher, and therefore you get faster speed down the straights. So there's an interesting fact for the day for you guys. The second part of this video is, as I said before, is me at Karting Madness, which I went down last Wednesday with Sonic Racing League, the same guys I did my high voltage karts with. I've only got the qualifying because the actual race footage simply didn't record, so I'll run that, and then I'm going to run a vlog over the actual qualifying footage. Alrighty, so you can see in the background, you can see my qualifying footage for Karting Madness. I've noticed one thing through watching all this back through editing, is I need to change the angle of the camera compared to my helmet because it focuses a little bit too much on the you actually see too much of my signature, which translates when I'm karting that you can only see, I think you can barely see the nose of the kart, which means that, I don't know, it's just screwed up my stomach a bit, could be motion sickness or something. But anyway, this is the qualifying footage, and this is my chance during the video to show you guys what's happening next. So, I'm off to a hill climb next weekend, so a week from now, a week from when this video goes up, I should be having just finished doing the second hill climb at the same track as same track as before, which is Rob Roy. I've bought some tethers and I'm waiting for them to be delivered, so I should actually have on-car footage. And what I'll do is I'll put together two videos. I'll put together some raw footage of just a lap up Rob Roy for anyone who's curious. What I'll do is I've got as you can see already, I've got my camera mount on my helmet, so I've got a mount already stuck to my helmet permanently. So what I can do is I'll do my familiarization run. That's a bloody hard word to say. Familiarization run, and I'll mount the GoPro to my helmet because that's not at full speed, and they should be fine with me doing that because it's not going race speed. So I'll use that to familiarize myself with the run again. And what I'll also do is that will be sort of if no one's curious on how Rob Roy flows, you can see it from there. Then I'm going to take a couple of different angles on the car, take one sort of from the side pod looking forward, take one from sort of just basically near where my rearview mirror is looking backwards towards the rear wheels. I might find some way to mount it just inside the car just so you can see what's it's not like an F1 car where you're constantly jabbing at things. It's there's not that much for me to do inside the cockpit. It's just put the foot down when I need to change gear, put down a different foot, hit the brakes at the end, and turn the corners. So I'm not sitting there flicking levers or anything. Well, flicking the gear stick obviously, but nothing else. Aside from that, I'm still trying to organise my medical forms. Still waiting on a call back from the psych that I'm going to go see, so I can complete my medical form. So that'll be. I'm going to ring them Monday and be like, guys, we sent you the form thing 2 weeks ago, why haven't you rang us back for an appointment yet? But hopefully if that all goes well, I'll be heading up on March the 5th, which I think is a Saturday, up to Wakefield, which is a big drive. It's, I suppose most people might just want to know where Wakefield is, but basically it's north of Canberra. So for me, I'm basically going to go up to Winton, which is a 2-hour drive, and then keep heading 4 hours towards Sydney, and I'll eventually get to Goulburn, which is the closest sort of big town to where Wakefield is. And hopefully if everything's organised, I've got the money to pay for the OLT, I should be able to do it then, which means I should finally be fully licensed, and I can get that out of the way for my state series race. Within this week, I'm also going to do a bit of car work. I need to change front right height on the car because as you might have noticed from a couple of the external videos, especially me the coming back to the pits video, the third video from the Formula V part of the video, my nose is riding extremely low, and so I'm picking up all the gravel, and actually I've got a giant gash on the other side of my fiberglass nose cone. It's fiberglass, so I can repair it pretty easily, but the point is the gash there I don't really want. So I'm going to take it into a point where I can get the front end jacked up and adjust the front ride height so it's actually pretty, well not pretty close, put it at least at a minimum height of what the minimum height is for regulations. Probably jack it up a bit further, just because the hill climb is rather steep. Actually you can't really see in the video because there's no onboard, but when you might see when I put the video up next week or the week after, whenever I get that done, that the hill climb is rather steep going up it, and I don't want to graze the nose cone on that again because I don't really want to sit there and have to fix a nose cone twice. Aside from that, I've got a design back from my design guys. I'm just waiting on sponsors to say, yep, we're interested. I've already got one interested, so that's halfway there. I'm just waiting on the other guys to say, yeah, we're happy to sponsor you for the year. Then what I'll do is I'll release that and tag them all in it, and you'll be able to see what my car will look like. And other repairs is, after this, might try, it's unlikely just based on where money's at, but I wanted to try and get the front end rebuilt, but if I know that I've got to do it anyway, I want to get it done before I do my first state series race because I know everything is straight. But what I can do now is, the main concern of that was I wasn't trying to fix the front ride height. Now I know that all I'm going to do is just fix a couple of screws in the front end and I actually have to pull the whole thing apart and rebuild it to fix the ride height. I'll do that, and ideally I'd like to get it fixed as soon as possible, but money is an issue. Even in grassroots motorsport, stuff's expensive. So but we'll see how that goes. Get my pedals fixed, move the battery. Got a small list of things I've got to do, which should be good. Sort of more out of racing news, which is kind of still important. Went in for interviews as part of TAFE. We get work placement, which is actually like a 12-month full internship with either Nissan Motorsport or Holden Racing Team. If you don't really know, I'm a bit of a Ford fan, so it's interesting to offer a place with HRT. In Indonesian, I didn't tell them about that. But I've already got knocked back from Nissan purely because I'm focusing on my V racing, which I'm fine with. I knew that was going to happen. HRT haven't come back yet, but I'm pretty sure that I won't be one of the ones that gets picked up. But I know a couple of guys in my TAFE who I'm pretty sure who will. It was interesting to have a chat with HRT versus Nissan. Nissan seems to be, just as a whole general company, happy with where they are at the moment. I mean, they're the only 4-car team, excluding customer entries, in the series, and they're happy with sort of running mid-pack. They're obviously, every team wants to be up the front, but obviously the 3 rails, so not every team can be up the front end of the race. But they're happy with where they are. They've got some new drivers, so yeah, the Ultima's a good little car. HRT on the other hand, very, very. As soon as I walked in the interview, you could see in their eyes and just their whole demeanour, I suppose, they want the best of the best because they want to be on top this year. The downsides from 4 to 2 was, or the downsides from 4 cars to 2 cars was probably partially a bit of just business decision. They probably had to do it just where Lee Holdsworth had left with Team 18 to go form something by himself with Charlie Schwerkolt. Timmy Slade's gone off to Brad Jones Racing. So, and then the other 2 cars, I'm pretty sure the other 2 cars were bought up by, or at least one of the, some of their cars were bought up by Erebus to run for Dave Reynolds and Aaron Russell. But the other reason for a downside 4 to 2 is they can focus their energy a lot better in their sort of where their sort of mechanics and their nous and whatever. So they're expecting to be at the top end this year. I think they'll do alright. They were probably the 3rd best team last year. But they've got, you can see with some of the guys I chatted to from interview, they've got the drive, they want to win. But I don't, as I said, I don't expect to get in either of those, but I do get placement throughout the year. I'll drop in for a couple of days after some of the rounds and sit there and clean up brakes and de-sticker panels, and I'm fine with that. It's better than sitting around doing nothing. And then also I might be getting a job sometime soon, but that's not confirmed. I'm having chats with a guy. Apparently he put something up on Facebook and he got swamped with people that are interested. So he knows that I'm interested. He knows that I'm into motorsport. He's recognised all that. He knows that I'm local and I'm interested. So you'll keep me informed. Hopefully that'll be a job in the next few weeks, though, which would be good because that's money to go towards the car and money to go towards other parts of life. Which I'd be very happy to get some money finally. After work with Dad kind of fell apart because of a payment dispute that I'm not going to go into, because anytime I raise it with Dad, it's hard when Dad's your boss, because you're trying to be nice to Dad for his Dad's side of things, but also he's your boss. And if it was someone else, it'd be easier to just confront him about the fact that, you know, under the way he had his roster system, I'd earn money and not being paid it. But I'm going to leave that. I suppose it's fair that Dad pays for almost everything else in my life anyway, so I suppose that's when the money comes through. But yeah, so at the end of this footage I'm going to just put in a little another title screen, and what that is I recorded a little bit of external footage with the GoPro, not of my cars, but I'm a little bit partial. I like all sort of engines. I like my big V8s. I like the high revving ones, but I especially love the rotaries. So there's a little bit of footage at the end of this video, which is a pair of RX-7s. One, I think, naturally aspirated, the other one with a turbo, both launching off the line at Rob Roy. So if you guys are interested in coming to watch my second hill climb, I'll put a link to both the event and my Facebook page where I keep everyone updated on that. So I'll let you guys know if you want to come down. It's a bit of a drive, I suppose, unless you're if you're interested. It's cool. It's I think it's $10 per person, but if you load the entire car, it's only $15 for the car and everyone in it. So my best advice would be, if your group you want to go and you actually know each other, which I don't know, it could happen, all meet up somewhere and all jump in the same car. It's easier for Rob Roy because it's not huge. It's not like Sandown where you've got parking for thousands. You've got parking for a couple of hundred maybe. And I don't think they want a super duper crowd there, but they just want some real passionate supporters of people that are racing and of hill climbs in general. Otherwise, if you don't come down, I'll see you guys in the next video, which will be coming out probably I'll aim for the Wednesday after I do the hill climb, but it depends on how the footage goes again. If for some reason they knock me back, even with my GoPro tethers, that'll really suck. But if they do, you know, the footage will go. I'll try and work into the video, but otherwise it will become the start of the second spare parts video. But yeah, like this video if you liked it. Comment if you have any suggestions to change. One of the things I did notice from the last video is that the reason I've changed the audio, I'm currently recording with my phone as a mic because it's a whole lot better than using the computer. I've also completely thrown out the script. I've got an idea in my head of what I'm going to say. Scripting stuff makes you sound like a robot, so I'm not going to do that. And then if you're interested to hang around and watch some more stuff and you haven't already, hit subscribe. And I'll see you guys in the next one.